We're so excited to get out here and do this garden tour. It's been a long time coming, and I'm just anxious to show you what we have going out here in This Is Bliss, the backyard garden. All right, so let's start in this corner. This little corner has gone through lots of transitions. I did have a cold frame over here with lots of brassicas in there that I thought I would try to keep in here throughout the spring and the summer, but I decided I wanted to use this space here, so I moved the cold frame. It's now on the other side of the greenhouse. And let's see, we've got some sage here that's growing beautifully. I just happened to put some sweet peas in this pot. We'll get a few. I really just kind of did it for aesthetics because I like the way the peas hang in a nice green color. Take that off. Back here I have a Gala apple tree, and when I purchased it from Lowe's, it had some beautiful flowers on it. I don't expect anything from it this year, of course, and it's fallen over about 6 times. Anytime a wind comes along, it falls over no matter where I have it. So I think I need a bigger, better, more sturdier pot, which I will do. But for now, it's right here tucked away in this corner. That's a random potato that came up, just leaving it. I did plant some flowers in this area, but I've been walking and working over in here so much, I'm not sure what will actually come up. I also planted collard greens in this area some time ago, and it looks like some of those may be trying to come up. And I planted lots of carrots over here, especially when I had the cold frame. So I note that some of those are coming up. And then right here are a couple of pepper plants. I believe they're sweet peppers. I didn't label them, but I believe they're sweet peppers. I think I planted something in a space here the other day. I direct sowed some seeds, probably pepper. We'll see in the next video. Everything should be growing nicely in the next video. There's also a winter squash here that I want to trellis up. It could actually be a butternut. I think it's a butternut squash. But while we're here, we're going to go ahead and fertilize. This is a good time to do that. And there's never a shortage of worms. I just moved my watering pot, and there were about 5 worms that's kind of scattered around. Okay, so now we'll move over to this bed. So this whole side that I'm showing you is the shady side of the garden. And this bed started out as just like a catch-all. Plants I had started in the house that I didn't have anywhere else to put them. And it was mostly brassicas when it started out, but it got so hot so fast, most of those brassicas have been pulled. Actually all, except for a few that I'll share with you. So the grass wasn't growing in right here in the front of this bed. As you know, I had an issue with grass. So I decided just to make this a little decorative area. So we've got some mints here. We've got spearmint, banana mint, pineapple mint. This is stock medicinal. We've got valerian, feverfew. There's another lemon mint. And then I think I just put some beets in that pot just for some nice color eventually. With the weather that we had over the last few months, this trellis took a beating during the snow and all the storms, and so some of the legs broke, and I just kind of repurposed it. As I showed you, there is squash on the end here. I think it's butternut, which hopefully will vine up over, and this will provide shade for some of the brassicas that I chose to leave in this bed. We've got some greens and some radishes and some beets, mustard greens that is, and radishes and beets. that I'll leave in the back here that'll continue to be shaded when things grow over this trellis. But I have to tell you, radishes have not been my friend, so I pulled a lot of those up. But we'll see what happens in the back here as it heats up. We've transitioned over and started planting our squashes in here. So there's about 3 squash plants that are coming up very well. And here are beans planted amongst the squash. And I transplanted a little tiny tin tomato plant over here. So it's doing really well. There's nasturtium there that's starting to come in very well. We also have some poppies sprinkled across the front. They're very small, so you can't see them right now. And there are marigolds. And then we've got carrots and parsnips. Here we've got some spinach that's coming in nicely, and actually there's probably some more spinach towards the back there that will be coming up. There's bunching onions throughout this garden bed. I just put seeds down, so they're not coming up yet. And actually, I noticed as I'm going through right now that there's a couple of melons in here. Not sure why. So they're probably going to come out and be transplanted. This is just a variety of flowers that are going to come out of here at some point when they're ready. So as I said, while we're going through, we're going to take some time and fertilize everything with some 411. Okay, so we move over to this in-ground bed here, and I've got the purpose here are sweet peppers. So let's start out by this little anchor here. These are petunias. We've also got some borage, some caraway, some marigolds, and then there is a carrot hidden here. We've got something to trellis up here. This says that it's a melon. Might have to transplant it because I do want squash to trellis up here and meet the other butternut on the other side. There are a few random things growing here. In this bed there's cilantro here and here. There's arugula. I had to talk over this with a minor correction. These are random lettuce, random beets, and random spinach. There are a few sweet peppers that I don't have a name for right now. I didn't label them very well. But in this bed you'll find shishitos, pimentos, pepperdew, granbell mix, green peppers, miniature yellow, Jimmy Nordello. I think I said pimento already. So I do want more sweet peppers. I just have got to find some more room for them. The pests have been chewing on them a little bit, so we got to get them back healthy so that they'll grow, because it's go time. It'll be heating up real soon. And then I'm also succession planting. And then I've already started in the greenhouse some succession planting over here for my peppers and cucumbers and squashes. But back to over here, just to finish out this little section here. And this little potato beauty seems to be shifting her energy towards growing potatoes. Look at those pretty flowers. These are one of those set of 4 of knockout flowers that I planted about 4 years ago, 5 years ago, so they're just beautiful. These are some pole beans to come up this little trellis here. There are some cucumbers back here, so I'm not sure if these cucumbers are going to last back in this corner right here, but we'll see. Here's a little bee here doing his thing. It's a pretty color. I gotta look this dude up. He looks a little strange. Back to what we were doing. We've got some celery here. We've got some borage stuck down in the corner here. And think also in this pot, as well as a coneflower. So while we're over here, we're going to give everything a little water of 411, and we're going to come back through with a few shots of neem oil. Let's just segue for a little bit so I can tell you a few things that I've done with my harvest and out here in the garden. This is comfrey, and it had a few more leaves on it than this, but I cut the larger leaves off. And we've got this bucket here. I think it's a 5-gallon bucket, and we're making comfrey tea. There you go. Ew, looks nasty. Doesn't smell so bad. I need to stir it a little bit. This has been in there now for about a week. It's covered in rainwater, and we're going to continually try and keep this on hand and experiment with it and see how it works. So my onion was not doing so well, so I decided to just stop the bleeding. So we brought some of the onion tops in, cut them up, preserved some in the freezer, dried some in my small handy dandy dehydrator along with this parsley. And this is what we got. I can't wait to try it. As we transition the garden beds over, I had just enough of this red Swiss chard for dinner one night. And there's definitely been no shortage of lettuce. This didn't amount to a lot of spinach when I brought it in, but it made a tasty spinach ricotta stuffed pasta dish. And finally, greens, mixed greens. I placed them in these storage bags for the freezer, and I even blanched some for longer storage life. Okay, moving over to the next bed. So this bed has gone through a lot of transition too. Right now, it looks like there's some sweet peas in the back that aren't doing too much, but I'll leave them there for now. Along the front, we have a variety of different flowers. There's nasturtium, there's a couple different kinds of marigold, there's poppies, and what else do we have here? There's a pretty marigold down there. So those flowers should be very beautiful when they start to bloom across the front. This was a brassica bed, and it's transitioning over as I mentioned. I did leave 2 kohlrabi here just because I really do want to try the kohlrabi. I didn't have very much success with it last year, but it may end up just being a fall plant for me. But we'll see how these 2 go. There's tomatoes in here now. Small plants, a couple. I don't think they're going to get very big. They look like determinate type plants, Tiny Tims, Sweet 100s or something like that. So there's a couple there. There's a couple more over here. I have put squash in this bed. So a few are coming up. I know one's butternut. And I might have crowded them in because I do have some more seeds. But we'll see how things grow, and if I have to transplant some things, I will. It looks like there's even a melon back here, which again might have to be transplanted. I see a cabbage. I'm gonna just let it stay there. We'll see what it does. Let's see, there's parsley back here. There's lots of parsley back here. There's beautiful basil here. And I think there's some cilantro throughout here. So this is kind of a hodgepodge of a bed. And we'll see what's growing in it next month. When we come back for the June tour, it should be flourishing by then. Alright, so let's give these a little water. And then we're going to have to go and refill our bucket. Alright, so we'll pan on around this way. And we're still on the shaded side of the garden. We've got some in-ground yellow squash. I don't know if it's straight neck or crook neck. And I wanted to mention, I did purchase seeds for some squashes that were self-pollinating. So I'm not sure if these are those or not. We've got some pretty flowers over here. Sorry, I can't remember what these are called. If somebody can tell me, that would be great. But these things are hardy. They look delicate, but they lasted throughout the winter. And these are the common blue violets. and they are, I guess, native to my yard, and they take over. They're very invasive. They're really a pretty plant, as you can see here. They're very robust, pretty and green, don't need any care. And they also provide a pretty flower. However, they are invasive. So I think I'm gonna leave these here. Maybe I shouldn't, might be a bad idea, but I'm gonna leave these here because they're just tucked away under this planter basket. But all these little ones, they got to go. Also, as you can see, I've added some decor throughout the garden just to give it a little whimsy, make it fun while I'm out here. And the Dollar Tree made good money off of this. I see this in almost everyone's garden online. The garden is our happy place. So my idea was originally for this to be a tea garden, but I started putting medicinal seeds in here, and so at this point I'm not sure what all is in here until it starts growing up, and then we may have to transplant some things. But we'll start off by saying that there's a beautiful sunflower there. It's getting pretty big. I think it's supposed to be a dwarf version, but it looks big to me. I don't know which one it is, so it may have to move. We've got a tiny tomato back here. We've got dandelion, chamomile, which is growing absolutely beautifully, lemongrass, lemon balm, parsley. There's some sage in here. There's a safflower plant, lamb's ear, savory. I think I said basil already. And some stuff I can't even identify right now. So I know for sure we'll be trimming some things back, transplanting some things just to make this into the kind of garden, tea garden that I'd like to come out and get some dried herbs from, or just put in my teacup. So we'll figure it out as we go along, and we may even add some more things to it as well. The tea garden. And then we move on over here, and I've got a couple of herb planters here. Let's delve into that. So let's start back in this corner and work our way through. I'm gonna probably have to deadhead these soon. There's beans I planted back here to grow up this ladder, so we'll see how that goes. But back to the herbs over here. In this small container, there's lavender, oregano, and thyme. I think that's lemon thyme. And then over here in this larger pot, we started out earlier in the year with, I think, garlic over here, but I haven't had much luck with garlic and onions. It's been so soggy and wet, a lot of things just didn't do so well. But these are poppies. We've got some more nasturtium there. There are, let's see, I think that's sweet alyssum. There's a safflower back there. We've got some chamomile coming in. This is a dahlia. It's getting pretty big. There's parsley. There's comfrey. This looks like lemon balm. And I just love it how I'm learning what the plants are. I can just look at them and tell. And I wasn't that kind of gardener a couple of years ago, y'all. So this is a great journey. We've got some basil here. Down here I've got some mint. Not sure what kind this is, but I think it's just a regular. Let's see if I can. It's just a regular peppermint, I think. We've got some thyme here. A bunch of cilantro. I love it. We love cilantro. We cook with it a lot. Over here I need to do a little bit of weeding. This is another one of those pretty purple plants. I couldn't think of the name of this pretty purple flower. Just want to say, when you get tired, stop. Don't come out here, or don't stay out here working when you get tired, because this happens. You know, you might get a little heavy-handed and start pulling up things that you were just careless about or didn't mean to. So I pulled up a bunch of this pretty little plant that survived the entire winter until my hands got on it. All right, I got another watering pot here, so let's stay true to the fertilizing that we started with this video. So moving on to the third raised bed on the shady side of the garden. This is the last bed on the shady side. This was full of brassicas, greens, cabbages. So I cleaned that all up, took those groceries in the house and preserved them. And this is what we have left now, or this is the restructure. So there's a poppy flower way in the back there. I don't know, may not look like it's thriving so much. Again, this is the shady side of the garden. There's a nasturtium here. I've planted along the front some marigolds. These are all potatoes, and these are just kitchen potatoes. I left for a weekend. When I left, there was nothing, maybe one little tiny sprig coming out. And when I came home, it had rained a lot, and this is what I came home to. A jungle. There are some beans that were planted over here too, and they're starting to trellis up. These I thought were Brussels sprouts. Maybe they are. I don't know. I'm kind of having a second thought of what they could be. If you know, let me know. But I let them stay. There were a whole bunch of them in here, but I let these maybe 4 stay just to see what would happen. There are some tomato plants here. This looks like it's a determinate in the front, and this one looks like maybe it's an indeterminate, or one that's kind of semi-determinate. It wasn't very strong at the base. I'll have to do something else, but I put it in a tomato cage so that it would stand and get stronger. All right, so let's feed. In keeping with the theme that we started, we don't waste time out here in the garden. Every time we come out, we try to make it productive. And so finally for this day, we're going to move down to this corner here. And this little corner, I had cucumbers here last year, and they did decent. They were pickling cucumbers. But again, there's not a whole lot of sun that comes over here. I did put a tomato here too, so we'll see what this little tomato does over here. These are 3 empty bags that I'm repurposing. Actually 4 bags that I'm repurposing. These 2 bags have onions and garlic. I haven't had much luck with onions and garlic. These don't look very healthy and good to me, but I'm gonna leave them here. There's some beans down there that could come up. These are dahlias, and probably planted a little thick. Yeah, this area right here needs some amendments. I think the soil is clay and impacted quite a bit. And there were a lot of red Chinese mustards down here, and I just cleaned those out yesterday. And that's it for now, friends. I'm going to come back on another day and either do a second video or add to this one. We'll see. But we'll go down the sunny side on a sunnier day. So we'll come back now. You hear?